All right, so let's talk some Caleb Farley. This is going to be a relatively interesting video, I think, because I'm pretty much going to be criticizing him for this entire video. However, I still think that he's a great prospect, and I think he'll be awesome, if that makes any sense. For those of you confused, the reasoning for this is just he's a rookie corner in the preseason. He's going to be a mess. That's just what you expect. And there are some issues that he has to clean up. Nothing major, and I think everything I've seen are issues I expect him to clean up. It's a little bit of taking him a second to get used to the NFL speed, which you just always see. I mean, really, I can't think of a single example where like a man corner had a great rookie season. I'm sure it's happened, I would imagine, but it's hard to really think of an example like that. There's been a couple zone corners who have stepped into the league and done well, or maybe someone who like has some sort of help somewhere else, like I think of Marshawn Lattimore, who had a good rookie season, but the Saints like to play a lot of cover 2 zone, so that helps things a little bit, and even that's still an anomaly. Rookie corners, it just takes them some time, and I think that Farley will probably take a year to develop, which is okay. You expect that because you get the good, and if you want to hear me talk about all of the good stuff with him, you can check out the video. If you search Caleb Farley, Jackson Kruger Sports, talking about his college tape, you can find that. But anyways, let's get into the film and talk about what he needs to work on in the NFL. And again, this is not a negative video, just want to put that up front. But anyways, let's just get into the film study. So we'll start off with this play, and unfortunately the camera angle is going to cut off a part of it, but this is an interesting matchup because it's Farley going up against Scotty Miller. So this is speed on speed right here. So that's, I think, an interesting matchup to look for. Now, this is actually the kind of move that I feel like fast corners are at a bit of a disadvantage with, where it's going to be sort of as though he's faking, as though he's just running a flat route, but then is going to go deep. And the reason why that can be an issue is because for someone like Farley, who is fast, when he starts going, it's a little bit more difficult for him to stop and then go deep with Miller. And as you see, we're unfortunately not going to get to see the actual cut part, but you do notice that once he finishes this route, Farley is behind. So it's an overcommitting error right there that allows Miller to be open. Now, again, I would say that at least with Farley, he has a chance to help try and get back into this play. Like, look, he is going to go back, and he actually does end up helping make that play. I'm not sure if it was because of him or if Miller was just out of bounds regardless. But, he came back and he pushed Miller out of the way, which if he was slower, he obviously wouldn't have had an opportunity to do that. But still, these are the kind of things that you learn as a rookie. It's the kind of mistakes that you don't make the more you've been in the NFL. You don't overcommit. This is the kind of stuff I want him to make in the preseason, so he's less likely to make it in the regular season. Like something like this is another example where you just need more reps at this stuff. So it's cover 2 zones. So in a cover 2 zone, the corner covers, I have the zone in white. That is where Farley is covering, and you have a concept that is kind of picking on Farley a little bit. You have a deeper receiver and a shallower receiver, and a good zone defense, they know when they see this sort of concept, they know which guy is covering what. So typically a linebacker will come over and cover one of those 2 guys. You just got to be able to communicate. But right when this play starts, clearly this is not working out too well, because for one thing, the linebacker has not moved over whatsoever. So Farley, you could argue he should be going underneath, but it's hard to really blame him too much because he does also have to stay deep. And these are the kind of things that, especially in the preseason when you haven't played with each other too much, it's not really his fault. It's more so a team error, but it is in his area. So you would think that he should, I would say, here's how I'll phrase it. Not that he should be doing something differently, but a veteran player would be doing something differently. They would be pointing like, hey, linebacker, cover 87, I got this guy. There would be some sort of communication, which there isn't right now, which is kind of understandable. Because now Fields just flips it underneath, Farley runs over, and he tries his best against a tight end. Again, he's not much of a tackler. That's an unfortunate scenario. So, my point in this kind of stuff and bringing it up is not concerning. Again, I'm a huge Farley guy. I think he'll be fine. I think these are just kind of the small things that he'll have to pick up on and learn, which he will. I mean, there is something like this. I brought up his tackling ability. I don't know if he's ever going to be Richard Sherman out there tackling. That's not why you drafted him, to be Richard Sherman. I would also say I don't love the constant zone coverage he's been in. I like him better in man. I think that makes more sense. He is a natural man corner. When you have that speed, I want you to play man. However, you have to fit what is in the best interest of the defense as a whole, which might not be what's in the best interest of Farley as a whole, which kind of complicates things. But anyways, it's zone coverage. Again, he's the corner covering all the way towards the bottom of the screen on this play as opposed to the top of the screen on the last play. And watch what happens. So look, it's just a handoff. So now Farley, he's going to try and get into the play. And again, like I said, not much of a tackler. I would expect him to make this play. However, you're going to see that he's not able to wrap up there. Granted, he still did make the play. He forced him out of bounds, which is what you're supposed, it's fine. That's no harm, no foul. But he missed a tackle. That's also fair to say. And if there wasn't help in the sideline right there, that would have been potentially dangerous. But like I said, this isn't what he's known for, but I also felt like I saw this on tape. I did want to bring it up that, yeah, tackling, not the best, but that's okay. Something like this is interesting. I guess maybe a criticism you could have is he's a bit slower on some of his cuts, which, again, that's something that very much happens with every rookie corner ever, basically. I mean, that's just the thing. Rookie corner, very difficult, just because it's hard to get to that NFL speed, and that's kind of why I like fast guys who you're going to get beat. At least a fast guy has a chance to come back. On this play, it's going to be an out route. It's man coverage. Farley is the guy who's on that receiver. Watch what happens. So, right when this play starts, Fields takes the snap, and you're going to notice that, the cut's happening right here, and it does seem like Farley, it's just, it's a little bit slower, not massively slower. Actually, I think there's a different criticism I would probably lay on this one. Watch as you see. I would like to see him be just a bit more aggressive trying to go for the ball right here. I think he was close enough to do that. He didn't give up much separation, but at the end of the day, if there's not much separation, but the receiver is in front of you, well, he can still make that catch. Now, he was out of bounds. The throw was a bit high. Not a horrible throw, just a bit high. But Farley definitely, I mean, there was a window to make that throw. It wasn't bad coverage, though, I would say. This one is an example of him being a little bit slower on his cuts. That one, it was a little bit there, but not massively there. This one, it is going to be more so there. It's a 3rd down and 2, so, a slant route is something that should be in Farley's mind a little bit on this 3rd down and 2. You see him press coverage, so single safety deep. He's on an island. I mean, if this is the go route, he has to be ready for that, and he's a bit too ready for that, I would say. Watch him kind of back off a little bit right there. I think he didn't need to do that necessarily. Again, he did get burned deep against Scotty Miller, so maybe that's, I don't know. That could potentially be in the back of his head, I suppose. But I think the reality is, you're someone who you have to play to your own strengths. And for someone like Farley, his strength is his speed. Don't be afraid of getting burned deep because you can keep pace with these guys. Maybe you should be afraid of a slant route, though, because, you get behind one step and it's over in the NFL. In college, it's not as, it's easier, basically. Because, look, he was just, a step behind, and that quickly, it's tough to make that throw. Or it's tough to make that play, excuse me. And listen, that was a really good play by Foles. It was a great throw. It was a well-ran route, so it's hard. I'm not blaming Farley on these plays. I want to be very clear. There's some negative plays that he's going to have to learn on. He looked like a rookie corner, and every time a team drafts a rookie corner, there's always that hope that he's going to be the first rookie corner ever to break the mold and be amazing in his first season, but that nearly never happens. And when it does happen, it's almost always zone corners, which Farley isn't. So yeah, that's my thought on Caleb Farley. And again, I'm a huge fan of him. I had him as my cornerback 1. And none of these issues to me are really discouraging. I mean, yeah, I would like his tackling to be a little bit better, but that's fine. It's not a big deal to me. Would I like him to maybe make some of these cuts a little bit quicker, be a bit more aggressive with his ball skills? I would, but it's not something that was bad in college. So these things, they take time. You can't expect, especially at the cornerback position, you can't expect to just throw him into the fire and have him succeed right away. And the natural tools are there. I think he'll be successful. We just got to give it some time. That's my mindset on it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.